Hi everyone, this is the week 3 reflections. So, week 3 reflections from my Agile Coaching Lab, and this time we focused on coaching, which is a really, really deep subject. I won't go into too much detail about everything we learned, but I'll just pick out a few pieces that really stood out to me. Um, so the first thing was like we read quite an inspirational poem by Ram Dass, which was about sort of seeing people as trees. It's a cool analogy for coaching because the idea that when you go into a forest and you see trees, you don't really have much judgment about them. You tend to be looking at them with curiosity and maybe seeking understanding, and that's basically the underlying theme of coaching as I see it. So yeah, that was a cool little analogy to start with. Um, yeah, we touched on some powerful questions, the sort of refined questions for coaching and mirroring techniques, reflecting what the coachee has said to help with inquiry. So that was helpful, and I'll use some of that. Um, and yeah, I guess the other part that was really cool for me was the stuff about performance coaching, which I guess I was able to relate to quite well, having trained as a therapist, because it's a lot about kind of helping clients or people or teams um, uh, build their own understanding of themselves, or the way they work together, and their culture perhaps, and also um, encouraging their self responsibility to change um, for their betterment, for whatever they want to do. So the main takeaway from that was that when when you use performance coaching, you can build someone's self-generated awareness. You can help them to build their self-generated awareness, which will allow them to then use more of their own unique abilities to actually grow or approach the problem they're working on in a certain way, um, which is what would always be the best way for them because it's their own approach. If you contrast that with, like, say, if you're giving advice or teaching, sort of directing someone, you tell them how you might do it or how other people might do it, a certain thing or behave a certain way, etc. But that might not be best suited for them. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting and quite closely related to a lot of the stuff I'd studied in psychotherapy. And yeah, just last thing I want to touch on was just something about communication and coaching, and the clean language specifically that we learned a bit about. So this idea that if you really try and have an intention with a coachee to stay non-biased and really just focused on allowing them to unravel their own understanding of X, whatever it is they're need to focus on, then they will come to their own understanding and a way forward themselves. And again, like, this is all about self-responsibility and encouraging autonomy. So yeah, that's my reflections and thoughts for this week. And yeah, I really look forward to practicing more of that as I move forward. How am I getting on with my course? Really well. There's a lot of learning to do, so I've been staying on top of that, and it's quite a collaborative course as well. So there's a lot of working with other people in the course in groups, which is really cool. And I would still like to kind of initiate some of my own connection with the course members rather than just relying on the course to do that for me. And that's it for the week.